Goodman Hummel podcast, and we got Robbie Hummel.
I'd known you since you were a kid.
I could blow my knee out, both knees, and still kick your ass.
We're trying to find the Robbie Hummel statue.
I wanted to kill you.
All right, welcome in another episode of the Goodman and Hummel podcast. I'm Jeff Goodman. He's Robbie Hummel. Don't the White Sox suck? Aren't the White Sox really bad?
Yeah, but I put on for my city, so. And actually, I grew up a White Sox fan, and I've kind of like shifted to. I live closer to Wrigley. It's easier to get to. It's more fun.
What?
But somebody sent.
Wait. You're telling
on.
me you changed allegiances from the White Sox to the Cubs?
I don't really care that much. But
This is blasphemous.
Actually, Coach Painter gave me this hat because somebody sent it to him, and he's a diehard Cubs fan. So why would he want it? So he gave it to me.
So now you're back to a White Sox fan, or no? What are you now?
If they got good again, I could totally support. I could totally. I just, I like going to the games to drink some beer and eat like a brat or something like that. But I really don't. I loved baseball in the 90s when it was Griffey and Frank Thomas and Sammy Sosa on steroids and Mark McGuire and those guys like Bonds. But there was legitimate like stars back then. Now I don't think I'd know Mike Trout. I know his name, but I don't think I'd know him if he walked up to me. I wouldn't know it was him.
I couldn't.
I know Aaron Judge, I guess, but a lot of those guys.
10 players. Could you name 10 baseball players right now? Maybe not, right?
Maybe, but a lot of them would be the dudes that were on the Cubs when they won, and I don't even know if they're in the league anymore. Like Rizzo, he's still on the Yankees, I think. But yeah, I don't really care. The White Sox have a cool logo, so I'll rep this.
Did I ever tell you my Frank Thomas story?
No.
So I met him like last year, coming back from an Auburn.
He's really nice, super nice guy,
super nice dude. And he recognized me. He started talking to me. We're in the airport, me and Doster, walking back from Atlanta. Must have been the Atlanta airport, and it was literally. Doster said this. He's like, "I've never seen you take a picture with anybody."
Yeah, he was a beast, man. Yeah,
but how about this? So I was covering him in spring training, and I was like in college, maybe right out of college. I was young. And I'm waiting for him by his locker, waiting for him to come back after the game. He had gone 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts in the game. Okay.
Tough day.
So I'm waiting. And, I don't remember what I was going to ask him, whatever, who knows. And the dude comes over, he walks over. And again, I'm probably 17. I don't even know how I got in there covering. I think I just finagled my way in. He comes over. And he rears back. He punches the locker so hard right in front of me. I'm like, I'm fucking out of here.
Oh my God.
There's no way I'm talking to Frank Thomas now. Like,
dude, that is sick.
Because you know how intimidating he is anyway.
He's massive, dude. I have a good Frank Thomas story, actually, too. I was taking a flight to L.A. probably 4 years ago. And I was supposed to be in like 1B. And I was like, I really don't like the bulkhead because I like to stretch my legs out under the seat, being 6'8",
and having bad knees.
And having bad back, bad knees. Yeah, totally. Yeah. So I switched. I looked like right before the day before. I'm like, oh, nice. 4F opened up. So I switched my seat back to 4F. So we're on the plane and we're like probably 2.5 hours into this. And I'm looking at the front. I'm like, Jesus, that guy is massive. And I'm looking at him, and he's standing up talking to the flight attendant, waiting to go to the bathroom or use the restroom. And it's Frank Thomas. I would have been sitting next to him.
Oh,
it would have been sick. Oh. So I text Benetti because Benetti's the White Sox guy at that time. And I'm like, dude, I'm such a moron. I switched my seat. I would have sat next to the Big Hurt, who's really one of my favorite players growing up. And he would honestly, Jason put us in touch. Yeah. I got to meet him, and he actually signed a jersey for me to get framed. He signed it in the sickest way. It literally is his signature. It says Hall of Fame, I think 2014, and then 2-time AL MVP 93-94.
No Big Hurt. No Big Hurt.
No, he didn't put that would have only been the cooler thing. But he is an awesome dude.
I mean, what a nickname.
Shout out to the White Sox.
I mean, his nickname was the Big Hurt. Your nickname was like Always Hurt, right?
Oh my God. See, people wonder why I want to quit the podcast. And it's because of abuse like that, Like we're talking Frank Thomas and Jeff still finds a way to get a dig in.
I do. Listen, you've gotten in plenty of shots lately.
Hey, but you know what? We need to talk about, speaking of shots, I
Yeah.
saw a video while I was in Seattle of you provoking Rob Doster. And honestly, I think Doster is the victim here. You were bullying him. You were bullying him. There's no question in my mind.
Okay, I'll give you the backstory. I'll give you the backstory a little bit. Have you ever watched a UConn game with Rob Doster?
No.
Okay, you would never want to. I mean, it is one of the worst experiences.
All right, give examples. Like why?
Every single basket, he jumps up, yelling, screaming, pumping his fists, yelling. We're in Circa in Vegas, and we've got our own kind of section there, and people behind him are like making fun of him because he's like a complete insane human being going crazy.
Wait, but he's like a member of the media.
Not there. He's not there. He can be UConn Bobby, whatever it is.
UConn Bobby.
He's basically.
Hey, it's not. Well, yeah, I won't
like
even
Dan
touch
Hurley
you.
out
I won't touch UConn Bobby, but
it's like Dan Hurley out there. Okay, that's basically what it is. He's going bananas. Not yelling at the refs, but yelling at everybody else. Shouting, and they're beating Florida.
Did he feel that the refs were not giving them a fair whistle as others did, or no?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he might have said something. No, I don't know. We're not going to go there. What we will go with is finally Florida comes back, and I told John Martin, I said, get ready for this video because I'm going to give him the biggest gator chomp you've ever seen, and I get right up in his grill and give him the gator chomp, and he knew he was being videoed, so he didn't react like I wanted him to react.
I thought he was going to punch you in the face. I really did. That's what I was expecting. I thought East Coast New Jersey was coming out. I really
He deserved this. I mean, unbearable. I'm not kidding when I tell you.
I need to ask him if he feels he did, because I think that if this was like high school, you would maybe be sent to the office for excessive bullying.
I would rather, I'm not kidding, I'm telling you, I would rather go to the dentist and get a root canal than watch another UConn game with Rob
That
Doster.
can't be true.
I'm telling you.
Bad.
I would rather.
People say root canals are the worst thing you can have. I know
Rob Doster watching a UConn game is the worst thing you can do. It's really tough. Anyway, all right. Speaking of UConn, we'll start in our breakdown here. We're going to go out west. San Francisco, Florida. Todd Golden, who used to coach at San Francisco, by the way, he's kind of in his old stomping grounds before he got that job in Gainesville. They go up against the Maryland Terrapins, a team you just saw out in where were they? Seattle.
Yes, Seattle.
Wow, they're up. I wonder, Kevin Willard could have.
They were staying
out west.
They were staying west. Yeah, they didn't go home.
So, give me your thoughts, because Florida has not played great in this tournament so far. UConn did play well; they played very well against them, but the Gators haven't looked phenomenal. Even against Norfolk State, they weren't dominant. They were dominant the first 10 minutes.
I love that you said they haven't played well, and they won the SEC tournament, and they've won 14
the
of 15
last two games.
Okay, no, that's fair. But UConn is so well coached and has the pedigree, and I'm not surprised to see that was a close game. I'm really not.
I picked Florida to win the whole thing, and I guess that's my take here. It's they haven't looked the part of a team.
They haven't looked like that. Yeah,
correct. They haven't been like they were the last month of the regular.
But the end of the game, Jeff, when you need dudes to be dudes. Well, and I didn't get to watch a lot. I did have it on while I was doing stuff, but Walter Clayton and some of the shot making was just. I mean, this is so high level.
Dude,
it's
that three off on the move.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. That's an NBA shot.
It totally is. It totally is. And then you think about just the way, whether it's their offense with the shooting, the guard play, the rebounding. I just think they're one of those elite teams that can beat you in a number of ways. If they're hot, they certainly will beat you. If they're not, they still get second chance opportunities. Their defense is top 15 in the country. You'd want to play better. I'm not surprised that UConn put up that type of fight just because of what they've been. But yeah, Florida is they're just scary. How do you game plan for them?
Well, they're deeper than Maryland, but what I
Yep.
will say is Maryland's got the bigs to match up. I don't know if they have the guards. I don't know if their guards are good enough to match up with.
Well, and I would say Maryland's guards have got to play better. They did not play well against Colorado State. And there's not many games this year. They've maybe individually struggled. I don't remember many Maryland games where all three of those guys for major parts of the game, you're kind of like, they're just not playing very well, and Rodney Rice got it going. He made a couple threes. But I mean, they really stayed in that game because of Queen and Reese. Those guys kept him in it. And Queen's shot is,
Were you okay?
major.
Were you surprised that they gave Derek Queen the ball facing up, driving to the basket?
No, because I think that it's one of those deals where he's more than capable, and you put him in space, and he's your best player. So it's like, all right, Derek, take us home. I wouldn't have been surprised if it was Gillespie. Granted, those guards weren't playing well. Queen,
You just don't
I will
see
say
a guy.
but I will say with Queen, for a lot of that game, he was as frustrated visibly as I've seen him.
Yeah.
Colorado State did a nice job of trying to frustrate him, and he still kind of got his numbers. But no, I wasn't surprised. I think that putting the ball in your guys is the most talented. Give him the ball and get out of the way. And if you're in the middle of the floor, everybody's going to kind of be hugged up in that situation. You're going to have room to operate. And honestly, it was good defense. It was good
no travel. Travel or no travel.
I would have to, you know what? I wouldn't have ever thought it was even in question. I would have to just, because I'm not an official, I heard what Gene Steratore said, and with the kind of when the two hands on the ball, he said no. So I guess no.
I wouldn't have called it travel either. I wouldn't.
And I'm okay with that. Like, in 1985, it's probably a travel. But
I think it's too close at the
when
end
it was, and then when it was sped up, I never even thought it was in question.
Yeah.
Until I saw a replay after the game.
Yeah. All right. So the other elephant in the room here, as Maryland advances to the Sweet 16 and plays Florida, is the status of Kevin Willard. There's been a lot of talk, and rightfully so, that Kevin Willard is deciding whether to go to Villanova.
There's a job that's lingering open.
It's crazy. Which the longer it goes. So here's the kind of what's going on for people listening right now. Damon Evans, his AD, is leaving. He's going to SMU. Willard wants life a little bit easier to get things done.
Well, and before you get there, he was very vocal in his Thursday press conference about some of his grievances.
Yeah.
Which, you know what? You have the most leverage you're ever going to have.
That's right.
So
get it now.
You're winning. You have a great team. If you really feel, and I kind of thought of this, when Matt Painter, because I was so close to it, when he almost went to Missouri, he got a lot of things that he felt the program needed when that went down. And I kind of feel like this is that inflection point for Maryland and Kevin
Willard. It's interesting because it's not done yet, which leads a lot of people to speculate that maybe he's waiting till they get knocked out and then he's going to go to Villanova. The second school of thought here is he's waiting to see what Maryland does to up this offer.
How does Maryland do that when their AD is kind of, on the way out? I
heard he's putting it together on the way out. I heard
this
he's
is
still
like
there.
This is
it's not
his
like
final.
He took the job and left, immediately.
So this is his final act as Maryland AD. Is he could solidify Willard? But why would Willard want to be there for an AD that he didn't kind of do this with? I feel like. Well, I just, you know what I mean? Like all these coaches, when it's not their AD, feel like, well, is this guy going to bat for me? So why would he be inclined to want? Maybe that's part of this. That
is part of it. I think that is part of it. I think NIL plays in, and the Big East not having football. And you look at Villanova, who could have a $7 million revenue share next year, where Maryland, while they're not a football school at all, they still put resources into football, thinking they're a football school.
That's interesting, and I understand the logic, but boy, leaving the Big Ten or an SEC job for any other league is a gamble. And I don't know if it's a 3-year gamble, if it's an 8-year gamble, if it's a 14-year, but you know what I mean?
Yes.
The way this is trending, that is a gamble. It's just, what is the timeline? And nobody really knows.
Yeah, I think for the foreseeable future, a lot of people feel like the Big East schools have an advantage over everybody right now because of the $20.5 million, rev share. And if you don't have to divvy that up to football, I mean, nobody's going to 20.5 for
But how
basketball.
is the Big East going to get that much if they don't have football? I thought part of the rev share is that football is such a moneymaker, and
I think it's 20.5 if you opt in,
regardless.
no matter what. Yeah. Yeah. So they can go higher than most if they want to, because again, they're not sharing it with football, which takes up, normally about 70%. I think it's going to be the number for a lot of these.
I played in the wrong era.
Yes, you did.
Anyone pre this year or last year
Pretty
played
much
in the wrong era.
Were you one of the people that thought that Wisconsin was going to beat BYU, that St. John's was going to get past Arkansas? If you lost in the first weekend of our $40,000 Survivor contest, I have good news. We are hosting a $15 to enter second chance Sweet 16 Survivor. There is more than $30,000 up top if all 2,200 spots filled. With their slick mobile app and user-friendly website, Splash Sports is the home of Survivor. So sign up and prove that once again, you know more ball than the field of 68.
People have opinions about me, strong ones. Some compare my brand to the competition and call me a copycat. Some say that I'm just watered down, that I fall flat. I've heard it all. But the people who get me, they say I'm different, subtle, but balanced. Nothing to hide, nothing artificial. And once they give me a chance, they keep coming back for more. For more dab water. That's right, I'm talking about dab water, and I swear by it. No bubbles, no fizz, just a smooth, refreshing canned cocktail made with real tequila. 100 calories, 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and gluten-free. Find Dab Water's 4 flavors in an 8-pack variety pack or single flavor 6-packs. Dab Water invites you to enjoy its great lineup of products all tournament long. Take it from me, Jeff Goodman. Sometimes the most polarizing things are the best things. Dab Water, tequila, water, natural flavors.
If you haven't heard by now, we have partnered with BetMGM for the season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for the listeners and the viewers of the Field of 68. Bet insurance tokens, odds boosts, and what I love, a nice parlay boost or two here or there. Be sure to keep your eye out in the app for the Field of 68 specials that we'll be running throughout the season as well. So go download the BetMGM app to sign up today. College basketball fans, are you ready to take your hoops game to a new level? Whether you're a seasoned bettor or just trying to win your March Madness office pool, Rhythm is here to give you the edge this season. With data-driven predictions for every single college basketball game left on the schedule, Rhythm helps you maximize your bets. And as March Madness kicks off, Rhythm's insights will help you spot those plucky Cinderellas that you know are going to shake up the NCAA tournament. But that's not all. When Selection Sunday rolls around, let Rhythm's AI-powered bracket generator do the heavy lifting for you. This is the same AI tool that performed 35% better than the average ESPN bracket last year. And here's the best part. Rhythm pairs perfectly with our Field of 68 expert analysis, giving you the 1-2 punch that you need for the rest of the college basketball season. So don't wait. Download Rhythm today and get ready to see college basketball and your betting results in a whole new light.
Who's your pick in that game? Florida, Maryland. Who are you picking?
You know what? I guess. Oh, what did I pick? Who's my Final Four again? Hold on.
Just pick a damn team.
No, I know, but I'm trying to stay consistent with who I picked in my bracket.
And then you probably, I don't know who you picked there.
Hold on. You give
might
your
have picked
pick.
St. John's. You might have picked St. John's.
Oh, I did. All right. Well, then I get to repick. I'm gonna go with Maryland. I'm gonna say that Maryland, with their starting 5, they're gonna play better than they did. I think they were a little bit nervous in Seattle, but they've gotten that out, and they're gonna play better.
All right, I'm taking Florida. I'm gonna stick with my national title pick before the tournament began, but they gotta get things in gear. I think they can wear them down a little bit.
They definitely could.
Depth.
Yeah, they definitely could.
They rebound the hell out of the ball. They don't look as good as they don't look as like overwhelmingly big and strong. But I do think.
Yeah, I remember you texted me when you were at the SEC tournament that you were like, "This is the varsity, like this is big boy college basketball," and it not just Florida, the other teams too. You know,
Yeah,
I'm like,
it
what?
is. It is. All right. The other matchup in the West is one that's near and dear to your heart. It is Texas Tech, Grant McCaslin against your guy, the team that you picked to go to the Final Four in the preseason that I was ripping on you all year. And you
Dude,
had
I
no
should have
defense.
rode that thing. I should have rode this out.
Yeah, the Cinderella story. John Calipari and the Arkansas Razorbacks. They are wearing the slipper right now in the Sweet 16, and
I know.
I'm sure he's gonna listen. He's gonna lean all the way into this. We shouldn't be here. He's gonna be like Lou Holtz this week.
I love it. I wish. Oh, sorry. I wish that.
What is this? What
I was yawning. I'm sorry. It's late.
boring you?
It's 8:30.
Not that late.
No, I wish I had stayed the course, but I was not. The fortitude was not there. It just wasn't. So,
Well, you picked. Hold on one sec.
I had St. John's. They let me down.
Oh, there we go. Hold on one sec.
This is great podcasting.
Well, Chris Mack just issued a statement that he is coming back
to Xavier
Charleston for year 2.
Oh, he turned Xavier down?
I don't know if he turned it down. I'm not sure he turned it down.
I saw a tweet that was, if Chris Mack takes the job, then Xavier's last 5 head coaches would be Sean Miller, Chris Mack, Travis Steele, Sean Miller, and Chris Mack, which
That's
really
crazy.
would be insane. I don't think that's ever happened before, right? It couldn't have.
That is bananas.
Way to break news on the pod. This is the most real journalism you've done in.
No, I didn't
3
break
years.
it. He put out a statement. I didn't break it.
No, I know, but you're announcing it.
I'm
to
announcing
everybody.
it. I'm announcing it. We're right now doing this at 9:00 Eastern time. We're trying to get through the brackets here. And yeah, Chris Mack announces. So now really, Rob, I think that Richard Pitino, I could see him being the guy here at Xavier.
All right.
He's in there pretty good. And Drew Valentine was in there
Really?
as well.
Has Loyola won that much?
No, but Drew had some juice last year, a little bit. Alan Huss, I know, talked to him from High Point. I don't think Alan Huss will be the guy. I would think it might be Richard Pitino. But we'll see how this shakes out here. When I get off the pod, I'll make a call or two.
So both Patinos in the Big East. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, they don't care. I mean, they don't care. Like,
no, I know they don't. I'm just saying.
They play each other once a year. It feels like every year anyway. So
yeah,
not that big a deal. I assume you're sticking with Arkansas on this one.
Yeah, I'll write. You know what? Let's just go all the underdogs here in the West. I'll go back to my roots.
I'm going with Arkansas too. I'm actually going with Arkansas too. I just think they're feeling good about themselves right now. Ever since Nelly Davis, they took him out of the corner when Boogie Flynn got hurt. I honestly think that has kind of changed their season because he looked lost before that. And I know he's hurt too, but I think it was a combination of the two things. So I'm going to go with Arkansas as well. All right, we'll go to the South Regional, where I'm going to be this weekend in Atlanta. Auburn, Michigan, the first matchup. Trey Donaldson transferred from
yeah, it's true.
Auburn to Michigan.
Playing way better too over these
way
last
better. I mean, the crazy thing about this one, Rob, is you look at it and, we've talked for years now how the big man, the big man and how the position has changed with the 7-footer, especially the 7-footer that, well, nobody plays 2 bigs anymore. That's kind of what we said in college, right? Well, both of these teams have gotten to the Sweet 16 playing 2 bigs, Vlad Golden and Danny Wolf for Michigan. Obviously, we know Janai Broome and Dylan Carwell for Auburn. Which you like Auburn? What do you like here?
Yeah, just because I think Auburn, with their length and their physicality and just how athletic they are, can turn Michigan over. And that just Michigan could be throwing the ball all over the place, which I don't love that for them.
Yeah, I like Auburn here too. I like Auburn. I mean, they've been And the second half of that last game against Creighton, they were awesome. And I feel like they needed one of those to kind of get their swagger back a little bit. And Tahad Pettiford was dominant, and they need him. They need him because he didn't look great in the SEC tournament. So I think Auburn's starting to find their mojo back. I think it's a bad matchup for Michigan. I'm going to take Auburn in that one as well. The other matchup down south, Tom Izzo, Michigan State against Ole Miss, Chris Beard, two really good coaches. Kind of cool that I have Michigan and Michigan State there in Atlanta. That'll be fun. I assume, they'll be rooting against one another in the other game. And Ole Miss, Michigan State. What do you think of Sparty's chances in this one?
I like it because Mississippi, the way they rebound or don't rebound. That's not something that you can afford when you're playing Michigan State, especially this year. It's gotten back to the kind of what they always were before, up until these last couple of years. So I'm going to go Michigan State. I just think that this team has been so solid all year long. And honestly, if Mississippi is going to rebound like a team that's like 240 in defensive rebound percentage, there is no way you can beat Michigan State if you get pounded on the glass.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't think Ole Miss is big enough, but what Chris Beard's done in year two has been really impressive.
Unbelievable.
Right.
Unbelievable what he's done.
Because their talent doesn't jump off the page. They're older. Yeah, they got a lot of guards who can make plays.
And they've got good backcourt play.
Yes.
Those guys, certainly, whether it's Padula or Matthew Morrell, like they have some dudes that can really, really play in the backcourt. But yeah, their talent is solid, and he's done a great job.
Yeah, I mean, I like Michigan State here. I think this is kind of cool too. If Tom Izzo can have a chance, I mean, think about that. Tom Izzo against Auburn with a chance to go to the Final Four. You are yawning like
I
that.
know. I'm sorry.
Like how
it's
much?
Late.
I know you got sleep last night.
Yeah, I did.
You have
but I had to get up early because I had to take my car in.
Take your car in? Why? Couldn't do that in a week? Couldn't wait?
Well, I haven't been home, but I took it in, and there was a mystery breaking of the side view mirror when Logan was driving the car. So
really?
Yeah, she said it just broke, but then even the guys at the dealership.
Wait, you're telling me you don't believe Logan's story?
No, I do believe her, because the guys at the dealership were like, "We've never seen this. We've only seen these mirrors be shattered when it's legitimately like the entire thing is shattered, like the entirety of the side view mirror, not the mirror, just the glass."
What about is where the car parked? There's no video or anything? Can we look back?
No, she was driving when it happened, and she said it just, like, there was this loud noise and it was shattered.
Was she going like 120 miles an hour, maybe?
She might have been. She drives fast, so I don't know.
Yeah, check the speed limit there.
That's right. We'll have to check the odometer. Go back to the history. But yeah, so I had to wake up at early to do that.
All right. All right. So we both have Auburn beating Michigan. We both have Michigan State beating Ole Miss.
Yep.
So we're on the same page there. How does Ole Miss beat Michigan State in this one? How do they beat them if they're going to beat them?
I mean, they have to rebound, have to be good in transition defense, and I would just say I think you can turn Michigan State over. I think sometimes they can get, because they want to play with tempo. That would be how, and certainly making some threes wouldn't hurt you. But
all right, we'll go over. You're in Indy. Is that where you're going?
Yeah.
You got a good bracket.
I know.
That's really good. I think you
the
might.
Crowds are going to be unbelievable, honestly.
Yeah, you might have the best pair of games, I think, of any region. And it starts with Houston and your alma mater.
Yep.
You did graduate, correct?
Yes.
You do have your diploma?
I got like 4 minors. What do you mean? I got a degree in 4 minors.
All
if
right.
I had a brain, I would have started working on my master's, but I was a little burnt out on school, so I took golf class that last semester.
You took golf class instead of getting another?
I mean, I would have had to really, really be invested.
Yeah.
Like,
you were not.
By that time,
again, when you're at Purdue for 8 years, you should be getting multiple degrees.
Hold on. It was 5, dude. No, I couldn't keep. I didn't have it in me to really dig deep and get like. I should have gotten like a master's in finance, or use that free time to get it or something real. But I got a minor in OLS and a minor in marketing.
If you had done that, if you gotten a master in finance, you would have figured out how overpaid you are for this pod.
You know what though? First of all, no. I got a minor in communications. Think about how that served me.
Wow.
I work in communications now, so this is tremendous.
I take all the credit for you being in the position you're in right now.
God. Yeah, it's amazing I've been able to overcome that. All of my problems seem to kind of revolve around you.
I have to go in. At one point, we got to get Mark Gross from ESPN on this pod and see if he remembers. Early on in my tenure at ESPN, I remember going into his office and saying, because you probably told me that day how much you hated playing wherever you were.
I was in Russia.
Yeah. You hated it. Hated it.
I did.
So I went in and I told him, I said, this dude's not long for overseas. He's just not that guy who could tough it out over there. He's having some issues.
My mental toughness rating, if they had like NBA 2K for Russia, my mental toughness rating would have legitimately been 1. 1 of 100. That's what it would have been. I was not, but I actually played well. That's what's messed up. But my practice habits
terrible
had gotten pretty terrible. My diet was consisting of, I would get in the car right after practice and I would tell Roman, my driver, I would tell Roman over Google Translate, take me to Mega Mall. And I would go there, and most nights I would hit Shake Shack up, and I would go 2 burgers, fries, Coke, Cinnabon dessert.
No way, seriously.
I was eating my feelings, dude. I really hated it. I tell you, I was there a lot, and I'd usually like Roman would come in and we'd just talk over Google Translate on the phone.
You had nobody else. You're talking to poor Roman.
Yeah. You know who else actually helped me a lot over there was James Augustine. We'd run into each other at the mall a good amount, just kind of like walking around.
He was doing the same thing you were doing.
Kind of, yeah. But he was better at it. He like was more equipped to be over there.
Yeah, you were not mentally tough enough, like the Houston Cougars.
Correct.
Who obviously, listen, they've been unbelievable this year. I mean, think about how dominant they've been in the Big 12 and then winning the Big 12 tournament.
Yeah.
And
I mean, 19-1 in the Big 12 is an incredible
insane.
And then
I know the
sweeping.
Big 12 isn't what we thought it was going to be because
no, but it's still a power conference. Yeah. Like it's still probably the 3rd best league in the country.
Right.
And the fact we know their defense, we know their toughness, we know their rebounding. But the offensive firepower they have out of the backcourt and, the ability to get second chances with their bigs. Cryer tying a career high with 30. I mean, Emmanuel Sharp was unbelievable in the Big 12 tournament. He's the MVP. Yes. And then I've been blown away from watching some of the tape of Uzan. I had no idea. Just because I've only seen him a few times.
He's gotten really good.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Like just the shiftiness, the floater. Yeah. He's a problem. He is a.
And he was so bad in November when I saw him.
I remember you tweeted that. I was like, man, awful. Jeff doesn't know basketball. It's crazy.
No. Kelvin said he wasn't good, but he said the problem was he was going east-west way too much and not going north-south. He just didn't know how to play for Kelvin yet.
Well, he's figured it out. And he's pretty good. So.
He's been good. They shoot it well. They don't shoot a ton of threes, but they shoot it very well. And I thought the big thing was
LJ and then they crush you in rebound margin and they crush you in turnover margin. Yeah. And then on top of that, they can honestly get hot from 3. And I know it's not the craziest amount. They're not shooting a ridiculous amount of threes, but it's still like Cryer can burn you and Uzan can burn you and Emmanuel Sharp can burn you. So they're impressive, man. That's pretty good stuff.
How do your Purdue Boilermakers stack up to them, and who wins?
I mean, Purdue's got a rebound. They cannot turn the ball over, and those have been 2 weaknesses for them. And I'm really fascinated. What are Purdue's main 2 actions or I guess sources of offense? Ball screen with Braden Smith, post up for Trey Kaufman-Red. and just the way Houston traps those two actions. The thing is, though, if you can get out of them, there are opportunities outside of it. But that's a lot. No, I'm just saying, like when teams beat them, it's because they, all right, 2 on the ball, short roll, or swing it ahead and play. Like, but other guys have to make the plays. It will be very interesting. I think from a matchup standpoint, a lot of Houston's strengths match up with a lot of Purdue's weaknesses, and that's not always a good thing. But the crowd is going to be unbelievable for Purdue, I think. And it'll be interesting, even though Purdue, Tennessee, they have a lot of history. There's a lot of history there from the past 15 years. I still think that if Purdue is in it, the crowd will turn on Houston because I think the other two teams would want to play Purdue, and they like upsets. And there will be a lot of Purdue people there. Yeah. So if they can keep the crowd in it and keep the game pressure on them, who knows? But I just, Houston it's a really, really hard matchup for Purdue.
Yeah, this is not a matchup I like for Purdue.
Yeah,
at all. I think it's one of the worst matchups they could draw. Because even with their bigs, right? Like they're just so tough, and they come at you in waves. And Trey Kaufman-Renn, it's going to be hard for him to stay out of foul trouble in this one too, because again, it's kind of like he's by himself sometimes on the glass.
Dude, I mean, Trey Kaufman-Renn, I hear you in the foul trouble, but he's had like 20 points or more in 7 of the last 8 games.
It's just whether he can stay on the floor.
I think he'll stay on the floor. I know he fouls a lot. I think that there are other problems that I would point to for
I mean, I think there's a lot of questions with this one. And if you're Purdue and you fight them and you take this one down to the wire, I think it's still a pretty good year, all things considered, right?
No, I mean, I think they're playing with house money at this point, and I think the hope has to be you keep this team together and you add some pieces on the portal, and next year is the year that you're thinking we could be – I mean, Purdue could be amazing.
You'd say we. I mean,
I meant that from their mindset. I wasn't trying to say that like Purdue is in we.
Have you given any? Are you allowed to give any money through NIL? Has anybody asked you, the collective? Like what's the deal here?
I don't know.
I know you signed a big contract this year, so
with you guys?
No, well,
I did not.
No, with all your other employers.
No, I'm like,
not us.
No, I've never been hit. I'm on the board at the collective, but
are you? You're the board?
I'm a board member. I don't know.
What do you do for that? What are your responsibilities as a board
member? I've been on a couple phone calls over the last 2 years. Yeah, it's not a massive commitment.
All right, I'm gonna take Houston in that one. The other one I think that's maybe the best, even though Kentucky has beaten Tennessee twice this year. I still think it's a very even matchup. We saw them play. We were at the game where Kentucky beat them in Rupp about a month ago, something like that. And Lamont Butler got hurt, and they still ended up winning that game. It was crazy because I thought they were done. I think Tennessee wins this one. I think they get.
It's hard to beat a team 3 times. There's no doubt.
Why?
Like that.
Have you been in this position?
I'm sure that I have.
In Russia?
I actually pulled up a video at dinner the other night of me getting in a fight in a Russian game. Getting a check.
No, there's no way you didn't. Did you act like you were all tough and everything? You did one of those?
Totally. I shoved the center was cheap shotting me, and I came down the floor and just 2-hand shoved him so hard in the chest. And then we it was more like basketball fight, like hold me back while I talk shit to this guy, and we're not going to probably fight. But you never know over there because it's like chaos. Yeah. But I got fined 100 euros for that, or 100
euros.
Well, it was more of like $100 and whatever rubles are. I had to do the math. I forget. I forget.
All right. I like Tennessee in this one. I really do. I picked him actually to go to the Final Four.
Yeah, I like think.
How they're,
go ahead. Sorry.
I like how they're playing. I mean, Chaz Lanier is one of the best scorers in the country. You know what you're going to get out of Zakai Ziegler. I think it's a pretty good matchup against Lamont Butler there. Yeah. The key I've said all year is Milicic, and if he comes to play, that gives him, because Akpara has been good. Like he's been good for the most part for what they've needed out of him. I just think Milicic is the one that, number one, he's got to get in the glass and he's got to be aggressive. That's the thing with him. If he's not aggressive, sometimes he can coast, look invisible, and then Rick Barnes pulls his ass. So, like, I think he's the X factor here.
Yeah, I'm going to go Tennessee too. I just think Kentucky their health has been so bad. I mean, they've just had to. It's like they're plugging holes, and it just keeps their spring leaks are springing up everywhere. And it's honestly a credit to Mark Pope that they made it this far. It really is. Like that is pretty unbelievable when you think about all they've dealt with, and then you beat an Illinois team that's really talented, and you think, man, Illinois could be really underseeded. You handle them. I think because of the 3-time deal, and then the defense that Tennessee's got. Now, Kentucky's had success against them. Like it's not like they haven't won those games in the 60s. But just with the way that Ziegler guards, the way that Meshack guards, the injuries, I just think it's too much, and Tennessee gets them here.
Owning property in the state of Texas is difficult enough. Paying taxes on your property should not make your life any more complicated. Ownwell believes that when it comes to paying property taxes, you should only pay what's fair. In under 3 minutes, you can sign up and have their team of Texas experts start saving you money without a single upfront cost. It's easy. When you sign up, you get an instant estimate of the tax savings they can get you, so that when that property tax bill comes due, the amount that you have to fork over to Uncle Sam isn't quite as painful. Put property tax money back in your pocket in just minutes. 86% of customers receive a reduction with an average savings of more than $1,100. Imagine how much less stress you'll have in your life knowing that you could take some of the money that you have earmarked for the IRS and spend it on, I don't know, an 85-inch flat screen to watch March Madness. The deadline to protest is May 15th for most Texas counties. Sign up in less than 3 minutes and start your protest today at ownwell.com/CBB. That's OWNWELL.com/CBB. I have been looking for the best deal on March Madness tickets, which is why I want to give the sponsor of today's show, SeatGeek, a huge shout out. SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app with over 28 million downloads and more than 70,000 events available. Now that March Madness is here, SeatGeek has your back. Each ticket is rated so you know if it's a good deal with that little green dot, and it's backed by a buyer guarantee. You can get 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek with code FIELD-of-68. That's code FIELD-of-68. I want my home to feel like my home. So whether I'm looking for big furniture, just a small piece for my place, or maybe some storage solutions for the basement or the garage, the answer is Wayfair. Seriously, I needed a new patio set and fire pit for my backyard. I bought it on Wayfair. It looks great on our deck, and it gives me an excuse to fire up the smoker, invite some friends over, crack a couple beers. Just last week, I bought a new chair for my office, someplace comfortable to sit while the madness takes up the 4 screens in front of me. I got it on Wayfair, clicked a few buttons. A couple days later, it showed up at my front door. They even offered to help set it up for you. Digging through online stores can be intimidating. Trust me, I know. It can be hard to find what you're looking for in your price range, but not on Wayfair. They have great options, even if you are balling on a budget like me. Wayfair has every style for every home, including mine and yours. So head to wayfair.com and shop everything home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Teams that win consistently are not just the most talented teams. They're the ones where the coaches truly understand their players. That's why we're excited to partner with Profile. They're changing the game with their behavioral assessment tools that help coaches connect with their athletes on a deeper level. We're thrilled to announce that Profile CEO Chad Brown is going to be joining us at our Final Four event in person in San Antonio. With the transfer portal and NIL deals, coaches need every single advantage that they can get. Profile helps programs cut through the noise and understand exactly what motivates each player and what development strategies are going to work best for them. We've talked to coaches nationwide who say that Profile has transformed how they evaluate in the portal and develop their players. Instead of guessing, they have real insights into what makes each one of those human beings tick. Whether you're coaching at the college level or want to understand the blueprint behind great teams, check out profilebehavior.com to learn more about Profile.
All right, so we both got Houston playing Tennessee, and then who do you have moving on from there?
I'm gonna go Houston.
I'm of Tennessee there. I'm of Tennessee, matching their toughness. I don't know if they can do it, but I like them on both sides of the ball. I think they're more balanced than they've been in a while. I think Rick Barnes, I don't want to say he gets the monkey off his back.
Well, he's never been to the Final Four, so yeah.
Yeah. I mean, TJ Ford,
Oh wait, he did. Is he coached in the Final Four?
Yeah, TJ
Oh, he
Ford
did.
early on.
Tennessee has
Early
not played in the Final Four.
Correct. Yeah, Texas, he was there once. All right, so let's go to the East, final region, Duke against my alma mater, Arizona. And I like Duke here. Unless Caleb has another one of those games he just had.
I'm telling you, dude, I saw it in person.
Yeah.
I know you don't like Caleb Love. We know.
Well, I like the great like that Caleb Love. I love. He was efficient.
He was as good as I've seen him in the game against Oregon. He was, and you know what? And then the first game against Akron, he was just kind of blend. Move the ball, make the right play. But he took over against Oregon. He was tremendous. Yeah. So the thing is, though, Jeff, he's capable of that. He's also capable of the other side. He could go 2 for 15.
He did in the first meeting in Tucson in the fifth game of the season.
We know that you would point that out.
I think it was 3 for 13. I don't think it was 2 for 15. I think it was 3 for 13.
From watching Arizona, and I think Oregon's very talented. They haven't been consistent. It was a great game, honestly. Both teams played at a high level. Arizona, man, they've got some real talent. And I think with Jaden Bradley's improvement, I like KJ Lewis as kind of that like athlete defender coming off the bench, a walk on the offensive glass. Carter Bryant is going to play in the NBA.
Different.
That dude is nice.
Yes.
So I'm just saying, I think Duke wins, but Arizona's tough, man. They could make this a game and it wouldn't shock me at all.
I agree. I don't know, man. Like, I just look at this Duke team and I'm like,
no, they're stacked and like they're awesome. But Arizona is nothing to sneeze at. Even with Mo Krivas' injury, they are talented and they're big and physical and they play fast.
You know what the difference is?
And you know what? They've shot the three better. And if they're making the three, because they weren't a good shooting team on the year, but they were in Seattle, they could give Duke some problems.
Yeah, I just feel like Duke could get an off game from Cooper Flagg, like scoring, and it won't matter. If Arizona gets an off game from Caleb.
No, they need Caleb Love to be great.
And efficiently good. Like, again, to me, you just never know what you're going to get out of them. You know what you're going to get out of these Duke guys. You do. You know exactly what you're going to get out of them.
Yeah, John's done a great job.
He's done an unbelievable job. And then the final game of the Sweet 16 might be the most exciting of all. I mean, the points that are going to be scored in this BYU Alabama game could be 200 points scored in this game.
Yeah, no,
going to be fun.
True.
Going to be fun. The job Kevin Young has done is remarkable. The second half of the year and not getting the Sweet 16. Talk about a hire that now your fan base can get behind and you have momentum going into next year when you get AJ DeBonsa. I mean, imagine if they go to the Elite Eight. Like, Alabama is more talented. They went to the Final Four last year, but I don't completely trust them.
Right?
Yeah. They're kind of up and down.
Yeah, but do you trust BYU's defense?
No.
And I mean, they could score with them, but they're going to have to be elite offensively. Yep. And I saw BYU over Thanksgiving, and they lost to Mississippi and then kind of beat an NC State team that wasn't very good. And they went to Providence and got blasted.
Yeah.
And, you're right. He's done a great job there. I worry that's a defense that's in the 70s defensive efficiency wise. Bama's not the cure for that. You're talking about playing one of the awesome offenses in college basketball, defending Mark Sears, and they got to guard BYU too. And I'm not saying that Bama is by any means a defensive juggernaut. They're not. They're definitely not.
Nope.
But I think their defense is better than BYU's, so I'll go Bama. I'm
going to go Bama too. I'm going to go Duke, Bama in that one, and I'm going to go with Duke to get to the Final Four. I just think, again, this team is too talented. And my biggest thing is, these dudes, how they always say, they're like, well, by this point in the season, freshmen aren't freshmen anymore. They're sophomores. These dudes weren't freshmen from the get-go. Yeah. They never played like freshmen. Again, look back to the tape that when they played Arizona in Game 5 of the season in Tucson. They never, and not just Cooper Flagg, like Con Knipple, Kamal Malawach, Like they've all
Yeah, but
been,
also some of their like Sion James is a problem, and Tyrese Proctor is a problem. Like, and then you talk about the freshmen; those three are all. I mean, Malawach played in the Olympics.
right.
Nipple is physically a grown man as a freshman, 6'7", 217. And then Cooper is Cooper. He's a generational player. So yeah, the mixture, and then adding a guy like a Mason Gillis, like a Final Four proven play, like their roster is really good.
Really.
Talented, young, old, everything. They have everything.
They do. All right. So you got you got Duke, Alabama. I think the only thing we differ. So
The first one the West, I went Maryland.
Yes.
You went Florida.
Correct.
And then I went Arkansas.
I went Arkansas. I actually took
okay, yeah.
So the only
I got to ride with my preseason provocations,
Yeah, the only team we differed, I believe, the whole out of the 8 games is the Florida Maryland game.
That's scary. That's probably not good for.
Doesn't bode well.
It's probably
doesn't
not good
bode well for who we picked.
Yeah.
So you got a nice easy. Are you gonna fly like you usually do? You're gonna fly from Chicago. Anything over like an hour, you fly, don't you? Isn't that your rule?
I mean, I do prefer flying because you can work on the plane. Yes.
So like a 3-hour drive.
Well, and I'm flying to do the Crown from Vegas or from Indy. So
wow, look at you. So you go Indy to the Crown to San Antonio?
Yeah.
No days off for you. Look at this.
This is what hard work looks like, Jeff. One day you'll learn.
This is a grind for you.
You know what your hard work is? Going to home team barbecue and eating 3 slabs of ribs. That's your hard work.
That would be 3 banana puddings. Maybe I'll bring you some to San Antonio.
Just bring that to the pickleball court, man. Just bring that.
Yeah, I have not been in great shape for this pick. I gotta say, it's the one regret I'm gonna have.
I can tell you're a little concerned about maybe the fitness aspect of this.
Well, that's why I said 1 game to 15.
No. This
one
is like
singles game.
I think it's like we're playing the Wimbledon rules of this best of 5 sets.
3 out of 5. All right, I'm gonna have to pace myself. We just need. How many timeouts do I get in this?
None.
No, I definitely. I'm gonna take an injury timeout then. I'm already planning to.
You were probably that kid that cheated in every sport you played growing up.
No, I never did cheat.
Yeah, well,
I didn't start spitting on the baseball before I threw it. I wasn't that guy. Didn't throw a spitball or anything like that. Or have some like sandpaper in my glove. That would have been good though. I mean, imagine like back in like Little League or something, bringing up the sandpaper. The ball just like friggin'.
You're throwing these curveballs that are like
It's like back when I played, it wasn't like now. Every kid throws like 4 pitches. I feel
the spinner and right.
Yeah, like there was like. Maybe a curveball. By the time you got to like 13, you had some players throwing curveballs,
or like changeups. Like there was an off speed.
Was fine.
Yeah, no doubt. But everybody always talked about how if you start throwing curveballs and snapping that thing off, like you screw your shoulder up.
Right at that age. Now kids are throwing sliders, curves. No, they are. They got like 4 pitches.
That is pretty insane. Are kids having like crazy injury problems if they're throwing all these?
Yeah,
they have to be, right?
We're gonna have to look into this. I think we're gonna have to do some research after I figure out what happened with Chris Mack at Xavier. I think I'm gonna look into the.
I was really hoping for Chris Mack at Xavier just because I thought it would be so funny if their last 5 head coaches, 2 different times it was two of the same people.
I was more concerned because I don't know who I'm going to get here in charge. I just bought a house. It's very important that I have a coach that,
Chris Mack doesn't like you anyway. So what is the problem?
All right. On that note, thanks for joining us, everybody. Goodman and Hummel Pod. We will see you next week after. We're going to have a Final Four next week, Rob. So we'll have a special edition.
Before we go, I will say the energy of this pod was pretty good. Like we were very upbeat. Last week I was a little defeated with other things that I had going on, but I feel good.
What was last week? What did you have going on last week?
I was trying to get ready for 6 teams that I'd never seen.
That's right. So you've been able to breathe a little bit because you've only got radio here. It's a little bit easier.
Well, I mean, I don't talk as much, but I've had Tennessee this year. I've had Purdue. I've watched enough of Houston.
How many Purdue games have you done this year? Have you counted?
I could, but
What do you
probably
what's your
like
guess? Last year was like 21.
It was like 21 last year. I bet it was 13 or 14 this year.
Yeah. If you don't know Purdue, so I'm not sure you do.
I'm equipped to do
I'm
their
still
game.
a little bit confused whether you really know Purdue or not. But
Wow, you would
anyway.
question that.
All right, we'll see you next week. We'll probably get to it Monday or Tuesday, early next week before Rob flies out to San Antonio. Probably plays a round of golf. Maybe gets a practice pickleball matchup. Is Glenn going to come out here? Is he going to be your manager for this game?
No, he's not. Well, if Purdue was to make it, maybe he would, but I don't know. He'll just have to FaceTime me before and give me a pep talk.
Give me a few tips. You're going to need it.
I guess I need to pack my pickleball paddle.
Me too. My grip is all torn off.
Jesus, the excuses already have started.
I got to figure out. Maybe I can drop it off in the morning, and they can regrip it somewhere. I don't know where here.
Dude,
I'll be all right. I'm not worried.
Screwed.
Just the look on my face was not worrisome.
I can see it in your eyes.
It was no nerves.
The fear in your eyes.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm going to get a full scouting report from Glenn on your weaknesses.
He would never betray his son like that. He might give you the wrong scouting report.
Oh, you think so? He's going to tell me. I know your forehand's good. Your backhand, I'm told, is very, very skeptical here.
That's weak. All right. Well, try it.
I'm going to try it. All right. I'm going to try it. And then I'm also going to move you around a little bit. We're going to see how you move these days.
How my health is with my knees. That's fine. Test it.
All right. We'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us. Goodman and Hummel Pod.
Goodman and Hummel podcast, and we got Robbie Hummel.
I'd known you since you were a kid.
I could blow my knee out, both knees, and still kick your ass.
We're trying to find the Robbie Hummel statue.
I wanted to kill you.